I want that, actually. Alright, so we're back in the garage after everything. I'm gonna get everything reloaded. We're gonna start with the rifle. I am not looking forward to this at all. Can't even remember what side the door is on. Alright, alright, well, let's see how this goes. There's some stuff over here that I'm gonna pick up. Oh my god. Alright guys, I'm gonna just call it. I was really enjoying this game until about that. I cannot go through another like 15 minutes of doing that again and again and again. That's like the 4th time I've restarted the generator and died before something. That's the 2nd time I tried to fight the bear. There's 2 fucking short keys for the map, and that's what just happened there. Is I was trying to back up and hit shift. My finger accidentally hit E, brought up the map, which doesn't pause the game, by the way. I hate it when overlays don't pause the game. And just, I was enjoying the puzzles. The premise was alright, like, you know, it's kind of tropey to have the, like, scientist found X out in Y, and now it's killing everyone. And, I mean, the monsters weren't that scary, but they were pretty easy to defeat. You just kind of walk backwards and hit them with your axe. But that fucking bear can one-shot you. So, and when, like, if you're gonna do that, give me a save right before. Like, if I just had to, like, go back to the garage and, like, set that back up again, I'd be fine with that. But I can't just I have to go back to the radio tower and get the cord. Then I have to go to the other side of the map and get the motor oil, and then I have to go to the complete other side of the map again so that I can start the generator, and then backtrack to where I just was on the other side of the map again, just so I can open the door and be killed by a bear. Like, if you're gonna have combat like this, like, I understand there's kind of a trope mechanic in the game where you have a limited amount of saves, either like tapes or usually what it is, and I get it. Like, that I'm okay with, but when you have to fight, so, like, I have this on normal difficulty. This is normal. If I had it on easy, I would have gotten one more save, which I still can't find the last fucking save. I found 3 of the recording discs, not 4, and I should have 4. And you should give me the 4th one before the bear. Suggesting there isn't more gameplay after that. My guess is you kill the bear, open the garage door, get into the snowcat and leave, and that's your ending. But I just can't do it. I am very frustrated. Like, some backtracking was okay. Like, the first time where I died, I was like, okay, I only have to go get X and Y, and that's fine. But when you start getting to end game, where you have to do X, Y, Z, and they're on complete opposite ends of the map, and I'm just backtracking over and over and over and over and over again, it's frustrating, especially since I have this on normal difficulty, and I feel like, which another thing that I was hating was the fucking body temperature thing. That was, if you noticed, the only thing I cared about were heat drinks. I could avoid getting hit by things, mostly, and energy replenished on its own. So you don't need an energy drink. You absolutely just don't. You just need to stand still for 2 seconds. And, I mean, maybe in the bear fight, yeah, you might need an energy drink, which you shouldn't have, but there should be a mechanic where you warm up in a room that is warmer. Or at least be in rooms where the drain completely stops. Like, I understand you're supposed to be, like, part of the game is avoiding this deadly climate, and I get maybe the bigger rooms, like the hallways, the garage, are cold and could drain you, so you can't just linger around and fuck around. But if you noticed, like, I died trying to solve that lockbox puzzle, if you notice, like, which I had to actually look up how to solve. They didn't give me the answer, but I looked up how to solve it because it looked like there was an alternate solution where it was like, because it was centered on 1, 3, and 5. So I was thinking a one-sided shape, a two-sided shape, or a one-sided shape, a three-sided shape, and a five-sided shape. But that wasn't it, because you had to go to the doctor's office and look at a chart, which, when you look at the clue, it could have led you there. But if the chart had been letters instead of symbols, which makes more sense to me to have an eye doctor chart with letters, but that also would have made me not think of sided shapes. It just wouldn't have, because there wouldn't have been shapes. But I died trying to solve that puzzle just because I was looking for clues and looking around until I froze to death and I ran out of heat drinks. And that's just poor mechanics. I mean, the bedrooms were small enough. I feel like I could have just put a freeze on it. Like, it doesn't go up, but it doesn't go down, which gave me time to look around the room. The game is almost built for you to die so that you can solve a puzzle in a different, like, round of attempts, and then you could just go through it and get through it a lot more quickly, which was happening when I was redoing the fucking generator over and over again. I was starting to open lockers and finding lockers that had heat drinks in them and just remembering which one had heat drinks so I could store up and have like 5 heat drinks and not have to worry about just dying because I'm exploring. Like, there's a difference between having a sense of urgency and not just milling about indefinitely and hindering the ability to solve puzzles. And in a game that's kind of hindered on solving puzzles, it's very frustrating. So I can't, like, I'm gonna have to give this game like a C. It started out well, the premise was interesting, but a lot of the gameplay mechanics just break it, and I couldn't even finish it just because I'm so frustrated with having to do this over and over and over again. And just, it could have, just a couple of minor tweaks in, like, adjusting where you could save, or even giving you all 4 save disks at once and you having to choose where to use them would have been very helpful. Or just, I don't even know where the fourth one was. Like, it's, my guess is it might be in the Snowcat. I don't know. But I have to give it a C. Interesting story, you know, it doesn't look terrible. I mean, the monsters aren't scary, and I wouldn't really call this, like, it's trying to be a horror game, but it's not scary. It doesn't even have, like, I mean, there was kind of a minor jump scare when I first saw the monster because I wasn't expecting it. Like, I wasn't scared. I was just, it was unexpected. It was a jump scare. It was something that just catches you off guard, and that is a way you can have a horror game is kind of a campy. This is kind of a campy slasher, minus the actual slashing, but, you know, kind of a campy teen horror, and it's fine, and I like those kinds of things. It's not a bad horror game, it's just kind of a bad game. Like, bad is probably a strong word. It's a good game with crippling mechanics. I think this could definitely be a lot better with a couple of tweaks to the heat system, the save system. I mean, cut down on the backtracking some would be really helpful, because just getting to the generator meant I had to backtrack across the map like 4 times, and that's too many. Like, I understand backtracking once, backtracking twice, after that cut it off. Give me a shortcut, something, so that I don't have to keep going back and back and back and back, and it's kind of a cheap way to just make your game longer even though nothing's happening. And that's, like, I enjoyed the puzzles. They were very straightforward. I felt like I could solve them, you know, going to rooms, finding keys to other rooms, and going around. I think part of the issue was I felt very safe. I think that's part of why this doesn't work great as a horror game, is because I felt very safe. I knew when to expect monsters, and it was more surprising when there wasn't a monster in there, and there also weren't just monsters patrolling around the area, which would be even more frustrating with the save system it has. So I think, given the save system it has right now, how the monsters appear is fine. But if it were to be, like, if the developers were looking to make a scarier game, a proper horror game, the monsters need to be more prevalent and more of a danger, because all I basically had to do was walk backwards and hit them with my axe a couple of times, and that would be fine. I don't even have a problem with how the monsters looked. I think if you gave this game, like, AAA level graphics, that's actually a pretty good monster design, is these people who are having their paradoxical undress, which you actually learn in the lore, like, frozen over and just screaming in terror. Like, that's actually a really great and creative monster design, and I really do like it, and even in these graphics it works. A little more campy, just because, you know, this is the budget the game has, this is the engine that the game has, that's just how it is, and that's fine. But I think it was creative. I think there's a lot of great concepts that are just being hindered by the mechanics, and I think that's probably the best way I can describe this game. So if you want to try and actually beat this game, get further than I did, it is free. I got it on Steam for free. It's fairly short. I mean, I think minus the dying, we'd probably finish it in an hour. But, you know, I maybe could recommend it to someone who is more familiar with this type of game. I'm not gonna not recommend it, but I also probably wouldn't just, you know, tell people you have to play this game. You know, if you're looking for something to kind of pass some time for free, maybe with some friends where you can switch up playing and get through sections, and like play with a group, I think this would be great, so that you're not just sitting quietly on your own in your empty house playing through the same section over and over and over again. So if you saw this and you thought it might be interesting to play with your friends, I definitely don't think it would be a waste. It is free, so I mean, I'm not gonna rib on it too badly. Like I said, I do think it is actually a pretty good game. Yeah, so I think that's probably just where I'm gonna leave it so I can stop rambling and actually get a video out to you guys. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna be playing next, but I will be doing October horror themed. They're probably not all going to be straight horror games. I know I want to play Vampire Bloodlines The Masquerade, which is more of a horror RPG kind of. It's not really horror anymore. It's a little too campy for that. I may try some Darkwood with you guys, which is absolutely fucking terrifying. I also have Spooky's House of Jump Scares. I might do a little bit with you guys. It's a very long game, but we'll see. And I will see you guys next time. Have a good day.